In an epoch most peculiar, whereupon the sun doth rise with a flourish and set with a sigh, there dwelt a damsel named Lyra, whose survival skills were as woefully inadequate as a goldfish's in the Sahara, an absurdity most profound. Lo, in the year of our Lord, 1000 before Christ's birth, she found herself amidst a village that resembled naught but a Pinterest fail of ancient civilizations. A veritable tapestry of calamity woven from the threads of chaos and confusion, where every corner bore witness to folly and misfortune. With spear in hand, crafted from naught but a toothpick and her boundless bravado, Lyra strode forth like a lioness amongst lambs. "Fear not," quoth she, "for I shall lead thee through this labyrinthine landscape of despair." Yet her comrades gazed upon her with eyes wide as saucers, pondering if they had indeed stumbled into an episode of some farcical reality show entitled "Who Wants to Survive a Cataclysm?", wherein wit was scarce and wisdom even scarcer. "Pray tell," she exclaimed with exaggerated exasperation, "what manner of madness hath befallen us? Did we not once dance beneath the stars whilst feasting on roasted roots?" Alas, the cataclysm had rendered their merriment into mere memories, a mirage fading faster than an ill-conceived spell cast by an inept wizard. The villagers' spirits sagged like soggy bread left out in the rain, yet Lyra's resolve shone brighter than a firefly at midnight. "Gather ye round," she bellowed with all the authority of a queen bee addressing her bewildered hive. "Let us concoct cunning contrivances from these pitiful remnants. Forsooth, we shall fashion tools from twigs and dreams." And thus began her quest. A quest fraught with folly, yet laced with laughter, for each attempt at creation was met with mishaps that would make even the most seasoned jester chuckle. As Lyra endeavoured to teach truth through trial and error, she discovered that knowledge is oftentimes cloaked in absurdity. "Behold," she cried, as she fashioned what appeared to be a spear, but was more akin to an oversized toothpick destined for culinary catastrophe. "This shall pierce the heavens, or perhaps merely poke fun at them." Her companions erupted into raucous laughter, for they knew well that survival hinged not solely on skill, but also on their ability to find humour amid hardship. Yet lo, amidst their merriment arose whispers of magic, a rumour that enchanted creatures roamed beyond their meagre encampment. "What if," mused one villager with wild eyes, "we could summon forth these mystical beings to aid our plight?" With tongues twisted tighter than pretzel knots, they chanted incantations, learned from scrolls long forgotten. "O fairies of fortune, grant us thy favour, or at least lend us thine ear." But alas, instead of ethereal sprites appearing before them, there materialized only an irritable goat who seemed unimpressed by their antics. It bleated loudly, as if mocking their aspirations. "Thou seekest magic? Nay, thou art but foolish mortals lost in thy own folly." And thus did Lyra realize that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction and far more entertaining. With renewed vigour fueled by absurdity and sarcasm alike, Lyra rallied her band of bumbling survivors. They embarked upon quests both ludicrous and enlightening, hunting imaginary beasts while constructing shelters that resembled abstract art rather than abodes. Each misadventure became a lesson wrapped in layers of laughter, each failure transformed into fodder for future triumphs. As days turned into weeks within this whimsical wilderness, Lyra emerged not merely as a leader but as an oracle of absurd truths. She taught her people that survival is less about perfection and more about perseverance. It is about finding joy amidst chaos and embracing the ridiculousness inherent in existence itself. Thus did they thrive, not merely surviving but flourishing within their fantastical folly. And so it came to pass that Lyra's village became legendary, not for its prowess in hunting or crafting, but for its unparalleled ability to laugh at life's absurdities, while teaching truth through trials both trivial and tremendous. In this realm, where magic mingled with mayhem, they discovered that sometimes the greatest weapon against despair is not strength or skill, but humour wrapped in hope. In a time not so far removed from thine own, there didst appear a curious creature named Anya Chronos, a veritable virtuoso of vexatious gadgets, whose contraption didst emit a cacophony of cautionary cries. "Pray do not attempt this at home!" With her mind as sharp as a saber-toothed rabbit's fang and her heart brimming with audacious ambition, she pondered upon the possibility of mending the misfortunes of the year 1000 before Christ. "What if," quoth she, "I sprinkle upon this ancient era a dash of 21st century wizardry? Perhaps crops could flourish without shrieking in terror at the mere sight of my presence." As fate would have it, Anya soon encountered Lyra, a maiden most peculiar who possessed an uncanny knack for evading the ferocious fangs of saber-toothed rabbits, those furry fiends that frolicked with feral fervour. "Hark!" cried Lyra with mirthful glee. "Dost thou seek to sow seeds in soil soaked with sorrow? Let us embark on this ludicrous venture together. Forsooth, I shall teach thee the lost art of dodging those dastardly beasts whilst thou dost impart thy knowledge of crop cultivation." With a flourish befitting a sorceress of yore, Anya unveiled her gadget, a gleaming device adorned with dials and knobs that twinkled like stars in an obsidian sky. "Behold," she proclaimed, This wondrous machine shall transport us through time itself, but beware. It hath been known to cause spontaneous combustion in overly ambitious botanists. Lyra chuckled heartily, for she was well acquainted with absurdity. Indeed, she had once witnessed a cabbage debate philosophy with a turnip. Thus commenced their whimsical journey through epochs long past. They traversed verdant valleys and treacherous terrains where flora flourished and fauna floundered. As they ventured forth into the wilds of antiquity, Anya endeavoured to cultivate crops that would neither scream nor scurry away at her approach. "Let us plant these enchanted beans," quoth she, "for they are said to sprout into towering beanstalks that reach beyond the clouds." Yet Lyra interjected with sagacity wrapped in sarcasm, "Aye, but what if they sprout into giants instead? We may find ourselves embroiled in an epic tussle for our very lives." With laughter echoing through the ages like thunderous applause from unseen audiences, they planted their seeds amidst giggles and guffaws. As days turned into nights and nights morphed into days anew, Anya and Lyra fashioned a society that thrived amidst chaos, a veritable tapestry woven from threads of truth and trickery. The villagers marvelled at their miraculous crops, which grew tall and proud without uttering so much as a peep. They feasted upon fruits that sparkled like gemstones under the sun's benevolent gaze. Yet amidst their triumphs lay lessons unlearned, for every crop harvested bore witness to truths untold, the importance of harmony between nature's whims and mankind's desires. In jestful tones laced with wisdom, Lyra oft reminded Anya, to teach truth is to dance upon the precipice of absurdity, for only then can one truly appreciate the folly inherent in existence. And thus it was that Anya Chronos and Lyra became legends whispered amongst generations, a duo who dared to blend magic with reality whilst teaching truth through laughter. Their escapades echoed through time like ripples upon water, each tale more fantastical than the last, yet grounded in profound understanding. In conclusion, dear reader, let it be known that even within the most chaotic realms lies an opportunity for enlightenment, if one dares to embrace both absurdity and sincerity alike. In a realm where raucous ruminants roamed amidst the arid abyss of antiquity, there dwelt a community most curious. Lo, the denizens, clad not in leather but in layers of lichen and leaves, didst thrive in the shadow of the great goat god, whose bleats were believed to be the very whispers of wisdom from yore. Herein lies the tale of Lyra and Anya, two maidens whose minds melded like molten metal, forging a future that flitted betwixt the ancient and the avant-garde. Verily, Lyra, with her locks as wild as a tempestuous goat's beard, espoused the sagacity of ages past. She oft recounted tales of yonder days when men did barter with beasts, and nature's bounty was bounteous indeed. "Hark!" she would cry to her kinfolk, whilst gesturing grandly towards the horizon where goats grazed gallantly. "Let us glean knowledge from these noble creatures. Forsooth, they know not only how to munch upon mere grass, but also how to navigate life's labyrinthine lanes." Anya, on the other hand, was a creature of curious contraptions and fanciful fancies. Her mind was a veritable cauldron bubbling with bizarre inventions that would make even Daedalus dawdle in disbelief. With twinkling eyes that sparkled like starlit skies over an enchanted evening feast, she proclaimed, "Why doth one need wings when one can craft wondrous wheeled wonders? Behold my latest creation, a goat-powered chariot. It shall whisk us away from wretched woes whilst we sip on fermented fig juice." Yet lo, the villagers were vexed by Anya's incessant innovations. They preferred their rustic routines over her raucous revelations. "What folly is this?" they scoffed, with sardonic smirks plastered upon their faces. "Shall we trade our tranquil lives for tumultuous tinkering? Nay, we aren't content with our humble huts and haphazard harvests." But little did they know that truth often lurked beneath layers of absurdity, like a goat beneath a pile of hay. As fate would have it, calamity struck. An unholy storm brewed forth from the belly of the earth itself. The skies darkened as if painted by some mad artist wielding shadows instead of brushes. The goats bleated in alarm whilst Lyra and Anya stood resolute amidst chaos. They knew that survival required more than mere stubbornness. It demanded unity forged through understanding. "Gather ye round!" cried Lyra with fervour akin to a bard beseeching an audience for attention. "Let us blend our ancient wisdom with Anya's audacious aspirations, for what is survival without synergy? Let us teach each other truths hidden within our disparate domains." And thus began their grand experiment, a melange of goat-grazing guidance and gadgetry galore. With each passing day, villagers learned to harness both nature's gifts and Anya's ingenious inventions. They crafted devices that could plough fields faster than any goat could gallop, while simultaneously invoking ancient rituals to appease their caprine companions. Laughter echoed through valleys as goats donned tiny helmets fashioned from acorns, an absurd sight indeed, but one that brought joy aplenty. As seasons turned like pages in an enchanted tome, Lyra's community flourished beyond measure. They became known far and wide as purveyors of peculiar prosperity, an oddity amidst ordinary folk who clung tightly to tradition without daring to dance with innovation. Their village thrived like an overgrown garden bursting forth with blossoms both bizarre and beautiful. In time, travellers traversing treacherous terrain sought refuge within this whimsical wonderland, where goats gambled freely alongside fantastical machines, whirring whimsically about. Tales spread like wildfire across distant lands, of how truth could be taught through laughter and absurdity alike. How blending olden ways with newfangled notions could yield bountiful harvests both literal and metaphorical. Thus concludes this chapter in the Cataclysm Chronicles, a testament to resilience wrapped snugly within layers of levity. Mayhap one day thou shalt find thyself wandering through realms where goats reign supreme, yet wisdom flows freely like rivers winding through verdant valleys. A place where truth is taught not merely through solemn sermons, but rather through joyous jests shared amongst kindred spirits.